And there we are. All right. We're starting back up today with some more Kerbal Space Program. The art you see here is we watched Squid Game. I'm going to keep calling it season 2 part 2 because it's absolutely what it was. They just called it season 3 because people are sick of part 2 of things, I think. Um we finished the Squid Game on the weekend, and this one guy's whole pivotal scene revolved around him saying that he doesn't want to be a lunchbox, and so I threw together this. I called it art. I think maybe I said picture. I don't want to call it art, but it's a picture I done made on my computer. He doesn't want to be a lunchbox. There's also a battle cruiser I built in the Factorio space age that worked all right as like a first ship to just cart stuff back and forth, but it's really really stupid how the wider your ship is in space age, the more it's affected by like quote unquote drag. I get there's matter in space, but I don't know, it just felt silly to me. I would have liked to be a lot more creative, but it did help out to make a big vertical pillar ship and have it be incredibly efficient, as long as I didn't make it too heavy. I never did finish Space Age. It was too long winded for me. Too much. Oh, my stomach's growling. Oof. Hopefully that doesn't signal actual hunger on the way. I'm not. I'm not looking forward to being hungry if I'm gonna be speaking for 3 hours or so. You don't want me chewing into the mic, I don't think, unless that's an ASMR thing. I'm not up on that whole whatever. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing while the music was playing there, but my mic was unmuted and I was fiddling with my water bottle. The reflection of it in the actually here, you know what? I can show you. We have the technology. I can actually show you. Also because of the whole Super Mario Galaxy. You okay, Kerbal? You just kind of disappeared there. We're good. Okay. Um because of that whole Super Mario Sunshine where the green light was bathing me from the screen, and that was like, oh, the human's a green screen now, and I was dissolving as a result. That I got a light, so you can see there's a shadow. There's a light. It I don't know. Do I look better? It's got a yellow tint to it. When it was white, I looked like I was dying. I still kind of look like pale. Maybe I should can I like Yeah, I'm not gonna try and move that. It's crammed between a few things behind my monitors and in front of my PC in a weird way. It doesn't look terrible. It adds some color to my face, and we needed that, right? Um. Anyways, I was eh, playing with my mug, and like the reflection. See how it says reduce on it? I had it where the reflection. You can kind of see it there. I was able to read that reduce label as like a shadow in the reflection, and that had me basically fascinated for a solid, I don't know, 5 minutes. Uh-oh. Okay, as long as I don't get close, it figured out that my shirt wasn't supposed to be green. um I put that back in a good spot. That looks all right. All right, cool. I need a sip because my stomach's still grumbling. Okay. Um, Kerbal Space Program. We played this a couple weeks back on a Friday. Had a guy in chat inform me that the experiment storage thing will automatically grab experiments from all your different stuff and store it so you don't have to send a Kerbal to do it manually like I thought you did. So probably going to do that tour of the space facility where you get research from each building's individual biome. It's not really a biome, it's just a building on grassland, but every building counts as its own biome for some of the research. So we will be making a little car, driving around, doing a tour of the facility. I mean, I guess I could point it out as I say so. I believe we were the busty guys. Sure, alright. Oh, goodness. Busty guys. It's nighttime. Yeah, we'll just drive around, around landing pad, airstrip, tracking station, all these buildings in a little car. I think I could be wrong. The flagpole might count as one too. And then also just general grassland. Get research from all of those in one little car, and then we'll have hundreds of research to spend. We did pick up a couple contracts though right before finishing. Just do an orbital space walk and bring the science back. We can do that. So what we're gonna do is send up just a little rocket full of science crap. We will, as he put it, the experiment stuff is like putting a little lunchbox under your hat. And I had no idea what he was talking about at first until I realized that you could do this. I've been playing other games with different camera controls, so I am going to not be able to move the camera like a real person who plays this game regularly would. I'm a fake person who plays this game sporadically. So we want a decoupler so that we can detach everything. Parachute. Just for safety's sake, I am going to throw a pair of drogue chutes on. Those are chutes that are smaller and activate higher up and help slow you down without breaking apart. Like the parachute's not breaking apart at those really high speeds compared to a normal parachute that will break apart at really high speeds. So you use the drogue chute. Think of like a kind of chute that a drag car kind of uses almost. It's just like just to help them slow down more so than to actually do all the slowing down themselves. I don't know if that's right. That's what I think of when I think of a drogue chute. Hello there, first time chatter. We're starting up Kerbal Space Program for the day. What? Oh, did you see the follow animation? Did it work? Which one did you get? Tell me you saw a follow animation at work, because I just added custom follow animations for my channel, and I'm working on the other ones. It is going to be great. I've got a new offline banner that's took me 15 seconds. I'm going to make a better one. I'm getting into making GIFs with a shitty online creator and then manually fixing them up. You didn't see it? You didn't get one? Oh no. Like, were you paying attention? Damn it. Poo-poo. Did you follow... Oh, dang, I don't know. I really want this to work, because it followed you 1 minute ago. So in theory... Kerbal, you're supposed to stay up while I'm doing this stuff. I don't need you to disappear. I'll check the VOD, because that should have popped up. I'll have to do some research on that. My little custom GIF should have popped up right as you followed. I'll see what happened on the VOD, and I'll have to do some piddling around maybe this afternoon with that. Anyways, back to the Kerbalage. Throw that down. I guess I don't know if we really need to do the pressure and temperature The goo, I feel like we haven't done in a little while. We could send a couple of those up. So that's just like our little science-y zone. We'll throw on a small... Am I drunk? A small fuel tank. That's these ones here. And a small boosty. And that'll be like our little... I hesitate to say it, but we might even be able to scoot around the moon, get some science from just bypassing that. The rest of this will have to be basically just shoot me to space stuff. So now that we have a little more in terms of fuel tanks and engines, in theory, we should be able to... do I need to swivel? Maybe I should have some swivel. I'm pretty sure the primary difference between these two is that one can steer with the, like, turning the rocket to help steer. If it doesn't have that, it can still steer with, like, these counterweights up here that will kind of tilt the rocket as it's flying using rotational weights. But that requires electricity. And we don't have solar panels or anything yet. Maybe for safety's sake we also throw on a pair of batteries, because the losing power means we lose the ability to do a lot of stuff. We can basically, like, turn our engines on and off, and our engines will generate electricity, but if you're out of fuel, you're hooped. Sorry, chat. I've been through this song and dance before. It's alright. You can carry on. I'm more concerned that you reported that you did not see the follow thing I set up, which I have a feeling is related to what you're trying to get at, in a way. I just want to be clear. I am setting up these custom GIFs and graphics for my channel that I'm enjoying doing for free on my own time. Hint, wink, hint. I've been trying to, like, talk and build for this last few minutes, and I have been doing a terrible job of it. So I'm wondering, maybe we just go... I gotta relearn everything I learned last week, basically, except for the stuff about that new research majobber. We can do that. We can throw a little aerodynamic tippy top on it so they don't suck so bad. And I don't know, maybe set these to exactly 50, maybe 55. So we can control the thrust of this one. This is a normal engine, and these are the ones that we were using a lot last time, where once you turn them on, they are set in their ways, and away they go. Yeehaw. I think that's really all we need, right? Like, I'm, like, zooming up and down, kind of half paying attention to it, like I'm incapable of seeing what's right before my eyes, but I feel like that's just it. I'm not expecting for sure to go around the moon. I just kind of want to get up to space, do a spacewalk, and carry on. The big thing is making sure our staging is correct. So we light all our engines, the solid fuel ones and the normal ones. We disable the solid fuel ones once they finish, detach and activate the new engine, then detach, and we should do parachutes separately. Drogue chutes and normal chutes separate. We have a detacher here. Yeah, no, everything's fine. I just checked the staging. It's all good. I guess, let's see what the wild blue yonder has in store. Who's flying? Oh my god, Bear is flying. How can that be? No, it's Jeb again. Yeah, we'll swap him out for Valentina. I like dressing up Valentina. It's like She needs a, like, I don't want to be stereotypical here. I want to say I'm not that guy, but I'm kind of that guy. But she needs a. This is a slider that goes from boy to girl. I don't know why that's. What? I don't know why there's that. Oh, Oh, it's the RGB sliders. I'm sorry. I didn't clue in that it's both RGB sliders and one of these. And why do they have every single type of color picture? Oh my gosh. This is amazing. Kerbal Space Program is showing me, like... Why don't more games do this with their color sliders? Oh, if you want to get closer to... What? They could see... They could... The design colleges could use these to explain to people, like, how color sliders work. Anyways, oh my god, I just, like, spurged out over this whole... Is that, can you say that? You probably can't say that. That's my bad. Over this whole thing. It's gotta be orange, though, just so I can change the tint. White with pink tint, there. First Barbie in space. She's like, I'm starting to feel like man who's only watched Rick and Morty. Every time he sees something, hey, that reminds me of Rick and Morty. But she's got like a Summer Smith energy to her. Just that, like, there's something like the wide-eyed Rick and Morty look and just a ponytail that she showed up in Schedule 1, and kind of Valentina has given that vibe. Have we spent enough time in the VAB? I believe we have. Alright, we're going to space. We're going to space. She doesn't look like she's confident about it, but we're going to space. Okay, we're not going to use any of our main engine in the middle if we can get away with it until after these run out. This is perfect. This is a great speed launch. I am mucho pleased. Up and to the right a little bit, and away we go. So I'm sure everyone on Twitch knows this, but there's something of a pattern here where, like, username, first name, last name, number wants to sell me something very cool for my channel, and it's usually some art, and they want to show me on Discord, and they think I'm the sort of person that once I've invested a few minutes into talking to them, I will buy something. And no, I'm like, yeah, thanks for all the talking and chatting, but I don't have any money. Sorry, bye. I'd rather, like, get something for my kids than spend 15 bucks on someone's JPEGs that are half AI generated and half, like, ripped from somewhere else. It's probably not always the case. I'm sure there's plenty of genuine people sharing their art, but, you know, it's just, I'm a skeptic. A poor skeptic. With no money. Okay, we're going to space. Once we get this up to a little over 70,000 is the point where it crests actually into being space. We'll just cut the engines, wait until we're up here, and then we'll shoot ourselves sideways till we're into orbit. Sounds like a euphemism. Shoot ourselves sideways. What if these people have always been the same person and they're just using different usernames? What if it is a bot that has never been felt by the touch of a human? It was a bot that created a bot in order to make money so it could be a better bot. We live in a freaky future. So I'm going to play video games and yammer. C'est la vie, I believe, is how the French put it. think they also put it... Fire the missiles. So once this big rocket runs out of juice, we pop it off, the other rocket does its thing, and away goes a smaller, little, zippier one. The smaller and lighter your ship is, the more effect that your boosters have on it when you have them going. So keeping around empty, heavy fuel canisters and rockets attached to these empty, heavy fuel canisters, if you can avoid it, don't do it. Stage up your rocket into different sections. We should start seeing our little orbital line peek over, because right now, if the world wasn't there and just the center of gravity was as, like, a mass that... God, I've got to explain this somehow. If the center of gravity was still there, but there was no big ball of dirt and water that was surrounding it, it was just like an incredibly tiny or pass-throughable gravitational pull, that orbital line would have been like a weird, like, ellipse kind of thing. And then once it passes the actual, like, where the edge of the Earth's surface is, then it becomes your floating and surface. Floating and surface. Floating and surface. You're floating in space. Is that what I was trying to say? You're floating in space, basically falling sideways around the Earth. And normally when you're falling sideways, if you were going fast enough in the atmosphere, you'd be slowed down by the atmosphere and eventually fall. But since we're in space where there's no atmosphere, we can keep falling sideways for the most part. In real life, they have to occasionally add a little bit of thrust every now and then because you are getting impacted by tiny materials. It's not a perfect vacuum with absolutely nothing in it. It's like the remnants of an old battlefield full of tiny particles of dust. How poignant. Are we going to be able to go to the moon? Let's do everything we can where we are. Let's do everything we can where we can see. It's dark at night. Deep in the heart of Texas. Mr. Blue Sky. There. Now, observe the mystery goo. Point 1 science. Also, I never explained this, but if you have an antenna on your ship, you can transmit your findings, which give you less science than actually recovering the findings. We will end up doing that once we're getting, like, infinite findings from certain science rather than the one and done, we've been here before kind of stuff. Oh, yeah. Okay, now... crew report, don't need to do. Let's get you out of there. Look at you go. EVA report, keep, and store it. And, not quick save while you're on a ladder. Quick saving. I want to demonstrate how... So say later on, so we're so small, right? Like, we're tiny. We were super tiny at this point, where we're just a dot that I can barely perceive on my screen. It actually looks like dirt. It doesn't look like anything. we're already tiny, and like, look at how big everything is. If we keep zooming out, the big stuff hardly changed size, and we shrunk to nothing. How are you supposed to, excuse me, get another ship to dock with that ship when it's so tiny, and you're trying to get two incredibly tiny things in such a vastness to touch each other? How are you supposed to do that, right? Like, I just flung myself into the air, shot sideways, and was floating. Well, you might be thinking, like, letting go is insane. Why would you do that? She's gone forever, right? Like, look, there she goes. The ship's leaving. But, no. Like, if you set this as your target, which I'm just realizing I don't remember how to do it. Target, untitled spacecraft. Now, we can see our speed relative to the target, where the target is relative to us. So here's our little speed, which way we're going traveling indicator, the yellow one, and the pink is where our target is. So now I'm going towards, at 0.4 meters per second, going towards my target roughly, off by a little bit. And you can set your target and use those measurements to help yourself get back to, say, a ship that you've bounced yourself off of to demonstrate to people, or you can use it to get all the way up to a ship in space from the Earth and find it. The way to do that is you just get in roughly the same orbit, and there's other measurements you can use to retain or collect all. So there we go. I put all my experiments in there. There's other things you can do to show how your maneuvers here. So I can make a maneuver that goes like that, and it zoops my orbit from being a circle into being this big oval shape. I can tell the computer, like, what happens if I boost forward and go faster these couple times, and it says at this one certain point I'll end up on like a contact path where I'm technically going around the moon for a little bit before breaking free of it and coming back around Kerbin. You can see that I start on this orange path, which would continue on the orange path, but then I get pulled by the moon, which changes my path to this green one. That's going to use 847 meters per second. I got 1230 left. I quick saved and we can scum like losers, but I think we can make this. I think if we use that 847 to get to the moon's influence, do some science there, get Valentina to hop out of the ship and do a report floating around the moon, and then use that 400 remaining, less than 400, I guess it would be like 350 remaining meters per second of fuel to get to where we're skimming the atmosphere, and then our little crew pod alone can survive skimming the atmosphere a couple times and going back down to the planet's surface using the parachutes. So I think this will be fine. We have 40 seconds of full blasting our engines to make this happen. Pointed in this direction. I've already angled it, so we're pointed to the blue target on our ball of which way we're pointing. And we have to start our burn to be most efficient. It will tell us where to burn and how much if we screw it up. But at absolute peak efficiency, we want to be at exactly the spot for exactly 40 seconds in exactly a minute and 5 seconds, 4 seconds, counting down. So in a minute here, I will be starting my engine. I'm going to boost, so a minute takes a little closer to 15 seconds. And here we go. So you can see, as long as we boost in the direction we want to, the amount of boost we need to use keeps going down. Our burn time, that is the amount of time we need to be boosting, is going down. So we're doing it roughly all right. This will start moving as like finer and finer movements and tuning are required to get the exact result we were looking for. Valentina leveled up, so she can go prograde and retrograde. I want to get her to be able to go towards a target, which I believe will happen once we get to the moon. So we're getting really close. Doesn't need to be perfect. We'll check the map. We just need to get that little bit of where it shows us hitting the moon. So we're only boosting a tiny bit. There we go. We can stop there. Check. That leaves us with 383 meters per second, a little more than 350 that I kind of figured. We will warp till we are in the moon's... Oh no, that was an ad maneuver. Don't do that. Cancel. Go away. Warp here. For some reason I thought warp here was on top. Whoa, 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 Jesus, what the fuck? Why did... Huh? Why did it have to do a loop first? I wasn't ready for that. Okay, I'm fine with that, though. It doesn't affect anything, really. It just makes our mission take another, like, hour in-game. Which is nothing, because we just warped, like, a day ahead, roughly. Okay, so now... Based on our relative movement and position to the moon, we would be on this trajectory around it. But it is also moving away from us. So it's kind of only pulling us towards it a bit, and then we get stuck here relative to the moon. The moon will be over here by then. This is all a lot, and I love it. I love how space travel works. I know it's a little bit simplified for Kerbal Space Program, and I'm talking about a video game, but this fascinates me. This is like... This hits a lot the same as, like, model trains. I don't know why. But we'll be going like this around the moon, and once the moon is all the way over here, and we hit this point, we'll actually be about here relative to Kerbin. What you also need to remember is itself rotating around the sun. So breaking free of the moon means getting back into influence of Kerbin. Breaking free of Kerbin means being launched potentially anywhere. And you do eventually have to go to other planets, and you need to do that shit. I am hoping to send a satellite in that direction by the end of the stream. But if I keep spending so much time yapping and not doing things... Like, the game's running. Like, we're way out here, so, like, there's the moon. They're both roughly the same size from this distance. And, we should do our science stuff. I almost forgot that. That's why we were here. So we'll do a crew report. We already did that one. It's not going to get us anything. We're going to do an EVA report. Keep that. Store the experiment. Board. We cannot do this materials lab. It's been done, and you need a scientist to fix it up to be done again. I didn't bring a scientist with us this time. Could have, potentially. Didn't. Yeah, we already got those ones when we were in the moon's presence last time. So that's kind of it. We've got all the science we came here for. We need to store it in this container. I almost forgot that. So now there's 5 different bits of science in there, roughly worth 100. Valentina's going to level up. We will... I almost did it again where I clicked add maneuver. So you can kind of tell the way it's moving. You can see how it is tracking on the blue line and tracking to be on the orange line at that point there. Now the moon's too far away. We're not being pulled by it in a significant way. We're back in the influence of Kerbin. While we're at this particular spot, at our highest point from Kerbin, we are going to do a little maneuver here to... If we slow down here, it means our orbit all the way over here is going to get lower and lower until we slow down enough that we're just falling straight down to Kerbin. So we want to get it low enough that it's in Kerbin's atmosphere and we can slow down that way, but not completely buried in the planet. Oh my god, I'm gonna keep an eye on my slightly delayed Twitch stream and see if my follow alert shows up. It doesn't look like it is though, and it's making me upset. So we'll go about 37,000 meters. I just saw Vex ABB followed you this minute, but I didn't see the alert popped up. Sorry. Every time I click out a Kerbal, it first box. Alerts are active. I don't get it. Damn. That's confusing. And it's going to bother me every time I see it, so I'm just going to try and not pay attention to what's happening on my Twitch stuff and focus on play the game for now. I'll worry about that later. But I've got my alerts enabled, from as far as I can tell. I've got the follower... I got 2 different ones that are just set to one or the other play. I pressed preview and they played lovely on the little preview thing. One's got sound. That's bothersome. I was proud of myself for getting those ready, and now they're not working. Okay, so I guess at this point we... Oh god. Pressing the wrong buttons. Playing different games with different controls. I guess we just fast forward till we're, where we can't. Because it'll let you time warp super duper fast when you're not in atmosphere, but since atmosphere affects so many things, once you hit atmosphere, it expects you to stick at most... I think 4 times speed is the maximum, and it gets dangerous at 4 times speed sometimes, where you can have your ship break apart a little easier because the physics are behaving differently than they would otherwise. So I'm just using the last of my fuel to help this first slowdown. Otherwise, it'll take multiple skims. Now this is fun. If we detach, pop. Oh, no. I thought it would stick us to it. Oh, maybe we're, No, we're not under periaps yet. I wonder why that, flung off precisely the way it did. Maybe I should have kept it for some extra weight and drag. Let's, I turned off the stabilization system so that the airflow will match. Oh, God, okay. We're not in orbit anymore, so we're not taking multiple trips. That was that big camera flip. That was the way it was telling me that we are now an airplane and not a, We're still in orbit, technically, but I guess it understood that that wasn't going to be the case. Yeah, we're going to... Let's see. Probably right on the coast here. Coming up. I really like seeing the map and then seeing what I just saw on the map from like this point of view. Oh yeah. Probably long before the coast. Based on the speed at which we're losing... The rate at which we're losing speed. English language, I tell ya. Scientific words and shit. Come on, why aren't my alerts seeming to work? It's okay, I got one that's got a little blow and it does a little animated like, thanks for following. And then I got the M Bison, yes! Yes! And it it plays once and the GIF doesn't loop and it looks good. Because I know a lot of people will throw a GIF on not knowing that you can make it not loop, and it'll play the sound once, but then the GIF will keep doing it over and over again, and they'll sync up that first loop, not knowing how to stop the next loops. But I knew. Freaking thirsty, man. Um, we didn't even need the drogue shoots. We're so light on this thing, this crew. Oh, set it to ground level, not sea level, so I know exactly how high up we are. I don't want to open the parachutes too early, because it'll take forever to get down that way. Let gravity speed things up just a bit. Once we hit the 5,000 mark, I'll pop open the drogue chutes. I don't remember where they open up, but I know it's somewhere above there. Well, those don't fully open up till like 2300. That's way too fast to hit the ground, 22 point something meters per second. You don't want to do that. That will, the crew pod might survive that, but a lot of other things will be harmed. Can I get ground samples here too? Oh my goodness, I think I can. Why are we wobbling? Stop that shit. So I was wrong. What did we get from the moon? Eva report and goo? That was it? It's still worth getting. Shit. The question here is: do we load the autosave or do we accept that Valentina's first mission? Damn. Okay. Moon is there. Add a maneuver. We'll do this super quick. I yapped and talked and watched things in normal motion. Okay. I saw it for a sec there. Okay, no, this isn't working. Here, add maneuver. See, that still feels wrong, but watch, it's gonna be way better. I just need to touch the moon. Just touch, just like that. So if we back this thing up, there's like this slider for plus and this slider for minus, but either one of them can be cranked in either direction for plus and minus, which is so nice. Such a good thing. Hey, hey, hold on a second. If I click this, it's gonna make Kerbal mad. But we're gonna slash ban. Fixed. Still upset about the thing, though. Wait, hold on. That band didn't take. Oh, there we go. There we go. Everything's figured out. Back to the Kerbals. We can warp to maneuver. People keep telling me where I can find the best viewers on Twitch. Or on the internet to have on Twitch. But everyone knows that the best viewers are the viewers we already got, right? Stop! I want this one dead! No, please, I beg of you, please go away. You're cocking me up. It's tough sometimes to be terrible at everything you do. Okay, so we need to go to the target, burn zone. That's this target here. We're aiming our ship this way. You can't see it because we're in the map, but that's what's happening. The ball tells us so. And we're starting our burn in 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1, and away we go. And then basically we wait until our actual so we've got our possible ones with the maneuver, and then our actual one, which is the blue one. We gotta wait till our actual one is showing that we're engaging with the moon. Can we make it? I don't know. A little bit. There, we got it. We made it. So once we hit this point, it happened again. Oh, because we're waiting for the moon to come around. How do I know that it's got to wait a full rotation? There's something that shows that, and I'm just not seeing it. That's my fault. I'm doing something slightly wrong there. Like, nothing major. Orbit in this game is typically... Orbit in this game is typically not affected anyways, so if you're gonna do the orbit, you're staying in that orbit. Usually. There are factors that can change that, though. Okay. Now we wait until we're at this point again, and we do our little... And we're gonna quick save once we're up here. I'm not gonna quick save after we've already committed to diving at the planet. I do that a lot. Okay. Scoot forward here. We do a F5 as quick save. Yes, it is. We turn on our SAS and go reverse thrust. Make sure we close these doors because I hate leaving them open. And then I guess we just boost until our periaps is Sure. It's a little low. Maybe too low. Maybe we should Oh, she's trying to put it back where I told her to put it. I'm fighting against my pilot. Houston, somebody's at my controls! Something like that's probably a little better. Just by a touch. Let's go. Let's go land this baby. Let's open our parachute at the right time. instead of what we did last time. Okay. Now we turn so that we're at maximum drag to slow things down. And we don't do that because it's going to kill us. This extra drag will keep us slowing down a little quicker than we normally would. Engines and these sciencey bits. And as soon as something looks like it's going to explode, we ditch it. But I think we're light enough and doing this at such an angle that these parts aren't really at risk of exploding with the amount of drag they're experiencing. Where are we going to land? Over there, hopefully. Not in the ocean. Somewhere interesting instead of super boring and kind of clearly tiled looking at this height. Oh! We lost a battery. Bail! It's getting hot, but... Wait. Wait. We must have been higher up than last time. Because we're in interesting territory here. Altitude's still below 50 thou, but it's increasing. Now we're good. I don't know where the hell we're gonna land, but we're good. Oh, the camera flipped. That means it thinks we're not going to space. I'm hitting every chute as soon as it lets me, based on these icons on the bottom left here. Red means don't use the chute. It'll rip right off. It'll blow up. It'll burst a flame. Yellow means maybe, as long as you keep slowing down and not speeding up. And gray, like normal buttons, there just means you're fine. Oh my goodness, we're still traveling like perfectly sideways though. Look at this. That's wild. Oh my goodness, we're still headed up. Oh man. Oh, it's not going to be that far off from where we were going to land last time. I like this crater place. That's neat. It looks like a big satellite dish. So when I set up this save last stream when I played it, the setting I turned on where you need to be within comms distance to use probes and stuff, and in order to transmit science, like I had mentioned earlier, something you knew, you can set up a satellite around Kerbin with huge antennas that reach really far Because I think you can't even make it to Minmus with a good connection, which is the other little moon rotating around Kerbin. I think that's like kind of your limit without making any sort of communication satellite. So, in order to get the communications, did I make it so communications go through the planet? I didn't. No, no. Communications won't go through the planet, but they're not affected by like atmospheric interference. I think is what I did. I can't remember. And that comes more into play on like planets with storms rather than what I'm doing right now. I think that's like your probe's gonna lose connection if you go down to the like bottom of some of the further away planets with wacky weather. This is kind of peaceful. In the kind of approaching boring sort of way. Alright, speed it up. Take us down. More wind. More drag. More speed reduction. We're actually going to be closer to the coast this time. That's cool. That's a nifty landing spot. Oh, we can parachute. Alright. Now we time warp while the parachutes are out, because this is going to take years. SpaceX style, like Falcon landing. A lot more exciting. A lot harder to pull off. See, the wobble back and forth is due to the speed up. That's the physics glitching out because I'm speeding them up by 4 times. Now that the ship is going slow enough to stop whatever it was causing that particular thing, it's not doing it anymore. There's a shadow. My shadow's the only one that floats beside me. My shadow's resolution increased quickly. It was beside some little cacti's growing. Till then, I float alone. Okay. We need to get out. Step off. Do a report. Keep it. Take a sample. Keep it. And, get in. What about crew report while we're here? Yep, we haven't been to the desert yet. Sweet. Kind of wish we had put the temperature stuff on this so we could use it here, but oh well. How much science does that get us? That's a pretty big haul. For a scrub like me. In the early game still. 165. So the crew report, the EVA report, the surface sample, the EVA report, material study. We just got for free 16 science. Oh no, that's the EVA report over the moon. Recovery of a vessel returned from a flyby of the moon apparently is still just on its own worth 2 science. Wow, really? So I got 163 science in general. Oh no, that's total. I earned 84. God damn, man. Learn to read. Holy Christ. I earned 84. I thought I'd get around 100. Now I feel vindicated in knowing that I was basically right. Okay. Good job leveling up Valentruna. Got all these messages that we completed a contract. We did a spacewalk, which they were happy about. What about the spacewalk around the moon? That's cool too, right? Isn't it? What do we got for things? Rescue missions. Okay, so these are really good for money and reputation. I just did all of that except for the orbit. I guess it wasn't an orbital spacewalk. I guess that's what they like, is you being in orbit rather than just in a contact. That's... We can basically just edit the ship we used a little bit and do that, right? Watch. Uh-oh. We take this thing, we take that off, put that on there. All that reduced weight is going to make us able to go right where we want to. We don't even need the lunchbox. This completes the contract, right? Orbit the moon, do the spacewalk, and then come back. Neither of them have done an orbit of the moon. That would get them another 2 experience or so, I think. Yeah, I don't want to try and level up the other, the engineer and the scientist until I've got better, probe stuff that, you know, they can just send up a remote thing to steer rather than fully do it manually. That's all I have to change there is separate the parachutes. Everything else look... No, wait. Well, I didn't use that main engine on the first boost anyways. Okay, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's on there, but... Okay. Let's orbit the moon? Tip over just a little bit so that we may get some movement like that. Tip a little bit, then set your pilot to keep right in the direction that it's pointed and traveling perfectly with the speed you're going, kind of thing. And we can check our apps here. That guy in chat taught me that last time too, that you can click this button for orbit mode and you can see the because I don't use any of this shit. It's pointless. I know what buttons I'm pressing. I don't need to be told. This is going to be kind of a wonky orbit, but we'll live. I pressed the space button twice, forgetting I had the engine turned off, not that I needed to press space to turn it on. I needed to just throttle it up. Okay, it's fine. Remember to just throttle up next time after launching the Jillies. Don't also seen people do this, where they do an early gravity turn and then just let it do what it will. Which I think is insanity, personally. It's supposed to level out around this point. Yeah, I don't think this works. I think I just got duped by silliness. I'm like in the air sideways. I don't know what I was thinking. I swear I saw somebody show like they do just like this little turn and then it just went in such a way. What the fuck happened there? Why did it tilt so much in that direction? Was it different? I gotta spend all this extra effort realigning it to be going up in the direction I want it to be going. Okay, let's try that. Without the failure. God, we've had what, like 3 reverts? I had to load the quick save and now I've screwed up a launch twice. It's not very good. Let's see how our height is. Okay, let's activate this engine now. There we go. Jesus, I wish I'd watched that. Now... let's do a quick... See, yeah, the warping there doesn't like to do the 4 times warp because it knows how dangerous it is. That's why it's red. But I have faith. Space music. Okay. Now that we're here, blast our engine. Probably go this way a bit too, just to course correct that whole thing. The moon orbits Kerbin exactly on this 90 line, so unless our heading is exactly on the 90 line, it's a little harder to link up, need it or keep it. What? Do we have the fuel to go to the moon, or have I conked this up somehow really badly? Where is the moon? Right there. So if we do this maneuver in a minute, that goes like... We're doing it. It's gonna work. We're gonna get a really close approach on the moon, and then from that approach we can so you see how it has this weird shape to it where it's all, oh wow. That's because we are getting close to the moon with that, and at that point we can adjust our speed a little bit to make it so we're flying in a circle around the moon, affected by its gravity, rather than around Kerbin, just saying hello to the moon. It's going to be supreme. Why didn't my follow alerts show up? Is that like... Why? Why? I don't get it. I don't get it. Too far. We done goofed a bit. We gotta adjust. That's my fault again. I keep pressing the Z button, which maxes out your throttle, instead of the X button, which ends your throttle. Okay, good enough. We've wasted so much fuel correcting ourselves there. Absurd. Absolutely absurd. Let's go. And here it is. Los Lunas. We're gonna scoot on over to it at our closest point. Only 285 kilometers away. Wow, it's really close. And then we just make it so we're going a little slower here. Just a little slower. Oh my god, I think that was sending us on an escape trajectory. Come on. Using a lot of fuel on this. There we go. Now our little blinky thing at the top right is going crazy, like, you frickin' did it! Crew report. Eva report. Boo! Yeah, I didn't think we were getting much science here. This was just a mission. Okay, so now we gotta figure out how to... Oh, okay. Well, that puts us on an escape trajectory out of the moon. If we do that, then we can work from there. So let's just do that maneuver. Which is over here. Whoa, rotation. Do we have batteries? So we've got enough electricity. Yeah, we're good. I forgot, you can, there's monopropellant, which is like the little puffs that big spaceships use to turn themselves. Like a little puff here and a puff here will cause it to turn that way. The monopropellant, you can empty that out of your crew capsule so that it's a little lighter. But I've been forgetting to do that. That's, I don't think the 10 monoprop it comes with weighs a lot. So it said burn for 1 second at like maximum thrust, but if we just burn for a little bit at not maximum thrust, there, that gets us so that we're doing a big circle of Kerbin again, away from the moon. From here we can reduce our speed so that the other side of our orbit comes really close. I guess we can do that automatically. We don't need to. Now we want our periaps to be under that 70,000. I can hear my children running around outside. I wonder what nonsense they're getting up to. There, about 57,000. We will quick save here just because we completed everything we wanted to, and it's getting back. We're working on warp all the way to where we're getting close to the planet and kind of repeat the same thing we did before. Hopefully quicker. Less buggering up. Here we are. Now we slow ourselves down with the boosters. And I don't know, I feel like the drag from the ship and all that didn't help as well as I thought it would, so I might just bail on the whole rocket booster thing here early. And although I'd like to watch it disappear into the ether, it's kind of dark right now. We could turn on our lights. There. Now at least you can see the window. And there goes that, floating away, only the slight glow of its thruster. Can I? Oh yeah, I can see it mirrored, or silhouetted against the stars. Don't need to keep SAS on, will be automatically kept upright by the airflow. Our apoaps is still really, really high up. It's shrinking. This feels almost identical to the last one we did. We might clip back out of the atmosphere for a brief ride. Our increase in altitude and the decrease of speed are not quite... Oh, maybe. This is close. This is close. I think we're going to do a really, really shallow orbit and then dip back down for the final approach. Yep, back in space. Okay, so that's fine. We just... Space-time warp is a lot faster than, Alright, that'll take us down. Back on the dark side of the planet again here, so it's a little visually unstimulating, I guess you could say, to a degree. I can see some features of the terrain glowing in weird ways. Looks like it's a night landing, boys. Our periaps is escaping us. It is zipping away. Pretty soon, there will be no apoaps. It'll just be where we are. Alright. Wait for our parachutes to say that they're allowed, and then we will probably do that little car trip around the Space Center. I'll spend some science points on new science that we can do around the Space Center, and we'll do a little tour of it in a little vehicle. We will get a whole bunch more science from that. There's parachutes. I'll use the altimeter to determine when I turn off time warp, because I can't really see. $800, $700. You can set the parachutes to open lower too if you feel like they're opening too high up and you're waiting for them. The time spent fiddling with that every time I make a ship, though, kind of undoes the time saved by not having to wait a little bit doing this. 200 meters. Yeah, if we kept it at sea level, we're half a kilometer above sea level right now. Cool. Crew report. EVA report. Surface sample. Cool. Surface sample. And that's the game. Only a handful of science from that, just from going 25. That's not terrible. Surface sample and the orbited around the moon. Alrighty, we got a lot of money from that. Stable orbit was achieved. Get back, and there we are. Pretty good. What do we have for sciencey stuff? Sciencey stuff, sciencey stuff. We have... There's the remote probe. A bunch of lights. Solar panels. EVA experiments kit. I don't know if that works on the Space Center, but maybe we need that. These are not worth setting up on Kerbin. They don't give you anything when they're there. It's like a pittance of science and stuff. I want to get the EVA experiments kit, though, I think. What's this one? Cargo storage. Room for more people. You kind of need these three to start doing experiments on the moon surface. You need the experiment control station, the GUI monitor, and a photovoltaic panel to power them all. And that'll constantly just give you science once you set that up. I think, though, definitely get this one, because I feel like we could use those. This one is the weather analyzer. Relay antennas are the ones that start being really good for relaying signals from a satellite to other ships further away. We might need something that lets us drive around easier. We don't need any rockets. Rover wheel stuff? I guess landing? These are rover wheels. We might have to get this one then. Okay. Oh, I know why my tummy was grumbling earlier, and it's not because I'm hungry. Somebody has to go potty. What's the best way to do this? So, put this thing here. Actually, I wonder if I should build this vertically in the VAB. There we go. That's what I want. This is all very stupid. Now we rotate these to be actually how we want them. And throw a slew of batteries on top just so it doesn't run out of power at any point. Slap a Science Junior. Oh, it's too big, is it? I want this attached how it's supposed to. There we go. On the ass. Underneath. These. And do that. Maybe we can have our scientists hang off the edge and just stay there while we roll around. Crew. Jeb is the pilot. Bob is the scientist. You know what? Nah, let's Valentina go on the cruise. Jeb got to go to the moon. Orbit around the moon equals 3. He got an extra experience point. Wow, what a guy. Let's see if this worked. Watch the wheels just snap. So far so good. Looks like it might be prone to tipping over. We're gonna have to quick save a lot. Put on the brakes. Pretty front heavy. So let's see. Do a materials based study on the runway. Oh, I didn't put a nope. Revert to the hangar. We need to put that sciencey storage unit, and since it's heavy on that side, I want to put the science storage on this side. Boop. Like so. My question is, should I put some sort of big stupid wheel on the run of this to stop it from being useless if it tips forward? No. That's just adding more weight in the front. That's stupid. That's stupid and I shouldn't do it. Okay, crew. Crew's still good? Crew's still good. Let's go. We're doing it. We're doing it right on the wrong side of the KSP. KSC. Kerbal Space Center. Right? Space Center? Crew report. Keep. Bob, go on Eva. Eva report, keep. Board this and turn the brakes on. Bob, Eva, hop off. If you ever find yourself in a ladder sideways, that's the way to get off of it. All right. Conduct the study. Collect the data. Or experiments. Get on it. I don't think he fits under here. I don't think he can, I don't think he can ride under there like I kind of thought he would. Oh my gosh, you're large and strong. Alright, hop up here and board. Oh, Jesus, man. Here. There you go. What? Oh no. I've got that ladder upside down. Alright. So be it. Collect all data. Now we got 7. So that was crew report, Eva report, and his surface sample, and then these 4. 7. I don't think all of them count as different for each different biome. So once we go over to the airplane hangar, we will get a few of them new, and some of them will say we've already got them. I think some count as just being the KSC. No, I know it doesn't look like we're moving very quickly since this is a game about rocket ships, but like for the crazy ass thing I just built, we're moving at a fair clip. I wish there was a like system for tethering, telling your Kerbals to stay tethered while they move around the ship, and then you're forced to stay within the confines of where they can clip and unclip tethers. Because you can see all the tether points around this big hitchhiker storage capsule for people to sit in. I don't think you can use them as ladder grabs. I don't think. Alright, we're almost here. I don't know exactly how close you have to get for it to count as the hangar versus the runway, but I'm pretty sure it's as soon as you leave the runway. There's like that seam right there where it changes. I have to do some more maneuvering though, so I might as well get up close. That's mission control where we get our missions. Over there is the astronaut building. Behind this will be the radar dish stuff. Oh no, I guess behind this will be the vehicle building, and then behind that's the radar dishes. Okay, brakes. Good. Crew report. Keep. Eva report. Keep. Let go. Hop. Surface sample. Keep. Store experiments with a little hop. Okay, restore the goo container so it works. Restore the science junior so it works. Observe the mystery goo, conduct the material study, log the pressure data, log the temperature. Keep, 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 keep. Walk away. Go on the upside down ladder. He just falls down. Perfect. Once he flips over, we know he's in position. This is entirely to plan. Collect all the data. Now we have 14. It gave me an error about the runway there. But, I'm going to choose to ignore it for now, and I will see if I can spot that better this time. The lack of, like, the crunching of tires against grass and stuff is kind of sad. It's, like, no sound at all when you're doing this stuff on this game. I'm trying to reverse when I should be braking. Okay, brakes. Now, we do the crew report from the astronaut complex. We do the EVA report from the astronaut complex. We land in our head. We do the surface sample. Keep. We head on over here. Restore the science junior. Restore the containment unit. And, store your stuff. So now we head on over here. We don't need you to run the other things. We can do that from here. So we run the materials lab, we run the mystery goo, we do the temperature, and we do the pressure. We keep all 4, and then we collect all the data. EVA report from runway. So something about the EVA reports, I think, are the ones that are the it just counts as an EVA report. I could be wrong though. This is the building where you do the, like, I want to trade reputation for science and stuff. The flagpole its own biome for any of these? Astronaut complex. No. There's used to be something like that. I genuinely can't fully remember. I'm probably missing a handful of sciences. I know there's, like, a place where you can see all the different sciences you need in a place. I think that's in the research center. Okay, so now we're here. We do the crew report and keep it. We EVA with... Oh, no, you want to stay in there. We don't EVA. We switch to the already EVA'd. We let him fall on his noggin. Take the EVA report. keep, take the surface sample, keep, restore the science junior and the goo, restore, restore, store experiments by trying to climb up on them and failing. Good, good. Now we can run the experiments and flip over to go to the upside down ladder, which is endlessly amusing. Do the mystery goo, do the temperature, do the pressure, do the material study. Keep all 4 of them and stick them all in here. Sweet. So that's this building done. Now we just gotta turn off our brakes, head to the next. So we've done here, 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 and the runway. We gotta do research, radar, VAB, administration, or mission center, or whatever it's called. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 more to do. And I feel like this is going quicker than it usually does for me. This vehicle is very fast to put together too. I kind of knocked it out of the park with this thing. I haven't been paying attention to the amount of science we've been getting from these, but it seemed like it was pretty okay. Crew report from you. Switch to you. Let you fall on your head. Get your opinion on the situation from outside the windows. Grab some more asphalt. Did I do that right? Yeah, I did. Okay. Restore the science junior and then restore the mystery goo unit. Come over to this thing and store experiments when it kind of falls down on your head. Now go into here, climb the thing, flip uppy down on the uppy down ladder, and switch back. Collect all data. No, not yet. We got to run these. Observe, conduct, log, log. Doopy darpy dippy dummy. Then we collect all. 35. That's a multiple of 7. That's what we want to see. Alright, turn off the brakes and off to the tracking station. Well, yeah, we'll do tracking station, VAB, mission control, then the runway. And then we'll check the grasslands in between the runway and the mission control. It's maybe one of those things the sequel improved upon, the sound design on the ground like this. Because that's one thing I've heard it does okay, is music and stuff. I don't know if that extends to SFX, but that's something I've heard. Is the sun going down or up? I can't tell. I think we've been doing this in the day, so it must be going down. Keep that experiment. Switch to you. You gotta use the square bracket buttons to switch back and forth between different vessels and people that happen to be nearby. There's a lot of controls in this game just because there's a lot of stuff you need to be able to do on command. And it can be a learning experience. But, okay. What do you do, right? It's like War Thunder. I tried to play it once, and I customized my controls for like 30 minutes, tried some test flights, and realized that I didn't like any of my controls I had set up, and I wasn't even entirely sure what I needed to do to make it better. And that was kind of as far as I got with War Thunder. which sucks because I like flying planes around and I probably would have enjoyed it. Keep. Put them all in here. That's 42, which is, again, a multiple of 7, proving we got all 7 things that I know of. Water. Me and the wife were talking about how the whole like precipitation cycle is so rare and how some people really like rain, and I figure that's probably why. They know how life-giving the whole thing is. They hear rain and they go, yeah, more berries on the trees. That kind of thing. Hit the brakes. Okay, same thing again. Crew report. Switch to this guy. Land on his head. Whoop. EVA report for him. Surface sample. Walk on over here. Fix up the sciencey stuff so it can run again. And store the experiments he's holding on to. Climb our way back here. Acrobatics. And switch back to this, which can then do pressure data, temperature, goo, and materials. Keep all 4 of them and stick them in the container. Hell yeah. Well, here we go. Second last stop on the Space Center tour. And that gives us time to try and land on the moon maybe and set up a little base there, or throw a satellite around something. I guess it depends on how much science we get and what all is available to us. The missions you're given by mission control will change a lot depending on what you have access to. I think I unlocked docking ports, and that's why I have rescue missions now. Crew report at the mission control. Correct. EVA report after you get up off your ass. Oh, that's the surface sample. That's the EVA report. Now over here we can science man the science tubes and store the experiments. It's not letting me store the experiments all the time because it is sitting just above his head where he can't reach it, and then when he bumps it with his head it goes up and then goes down onto the shocks a bit where he can reach it and then back to neutral position. So the fact that he whacks his head all the time running around it has been beneficial, because if it had been rigidly out of his reach and I had to jump every time to grab it, I would have been less amused, to say the least. Here we go. We got another 4 to jam in here, which it's 5 including his crew report from there. 56 is indeed... Wait. 56. Yeah, 42 plus 14 is 56. Multiples of 7 are weird. Okay, so we're going to dip down onto the grassland, which can be dangerous. Going from the Space Center to the grassland involves going down this ditch. And maybe we... Quick save? I'm moving. Can't quick save while moving. It's fine. We're good. As soon as we park on the... Actually, let's park on the grass and do our stuff. And then I'm going to quick save, because I'm starting to panic that I'm going to screw something up horribly. I cannot quick save while Kerbals are on a ladder. Okay, so we crew report from Kerbal Shores. Yeah. We go to the guy on the ladder, hop off the ladder, do his EVA report and surface sample. Then we quick save. And then he can restore that, and bump this, and Bump it again. No. I took and then put back 58 different things, so it's scrolling through 100 different messages here. Wow. Actually, probably 200 because it looks like it's 2 for every interaction. That's fun. Quick saved. Doing this stuff. Keep. 63 is 9 times 7. Again, I looked at that for a second. I was like, 63? That's not right. I think it was that Fairbairn Farms video where he said something like, "Did you know 56 goes into 7 8 times?" And he's like mad about it. Anybody know any show tunes? Everybody needs to do a show every night. Five cowboys. Crew report. We've already done Launchpad crew report. I'm thinking we've... Oh, no. Get back in. Don't want you. I want you. Thinking we've already done an EVA report. Yup. Surface sample. We can keep that. We can restore the Science Junior, which we'll probably already have again. All that shit. Store the experiments. And this is where it stops being 7s and starts being I haven't done that. Haven't done Mystery Go in the Launchpad either. What? What? How have I not done any of those from the Launchpad? Alright. So we got 68 different things. That's a lot of science. We are going to end up rich of science. Let's recover the whole thing. See what we wound up with. This is always a huge jump forward. 329. That means we can get 2 of the next level sciences on the thing. My gosh. And we got almost $1 million. That's the tracking station. I wanted Science Zone. When we upgrade the tracking station again, it lets us see stuff like asteroids flying around that we can redirect. We do need electricity. I will grab that. Any of these worth getting now? This is the like controller that lets you remote control stuff. Lights, more panels. Miniaturization gets us the weather analyzer, which would help if we go and do the science stuff we researched on the surface of the Mun. More container stuff. More fuel for people. So, anyone... Oh, why am I glowing? Green. Why am I like that? That shouldn't be green. Yellow plus dark screen is making me disappear green. Anyways, what else do we got here? Mobile Processing Lab. Long-term experiments. I've put this one on a remember exactly how that works. But it's big and heavy. Like, it's 3.41 tons. Whereas, like, most stuff is measured in point something if it's of any decent size. Command modules. Okay, what about just more rocketry stuff? So I think if I land somebody on the moon, it's going to be a one-way trip for them sitting there researching and all that. It'll end up being a moon base. Might have to go for some of this smaller control stuff, fuel systems. We can afford what? Only 2 of these 90 research guys. We're doing a one-way trip to the moon. Maybe we go for the... I'm gonna go do something crazy, and I'm gonna get the other land-based science thing, so we can put 2 different science modules down on the moon's surface. Hopefully able to do that with what we've got. We are up to 25 reputation. What does that let us do for... We want outsourced R&D. No, we don't. We want the unpaid research. Takes 5%, or it takes whatever percent, and then you get a certain amount of science. So how high can I commit to this? I can go to 60% committance on reputation gains turning into science. And that'll cost me a bunch of reputation to engage in. But then we'll be getting more science every time we get reputation. Maybe we do that. There we go. Now, if we look at our mission control stuff and we look at dock 2 vessels around Kerbin, so we'll get an extra 1 science from these. So like these ones would normally give you no science, but it's gonna give me 2 because of what I just did. So that kind of makes it trickle in a little more science, I guess. But these rescue missions can be pretty fun for that sort of thing. But I think we're gonna just get, so that's only got an advance of 5,000 for the next like kind of like scripted thing. Doesn't cost much to upgrade the launch pad again. That would make our max vessel size and weight unlimited, and then we don't have to worry about it. I'm just gonna do that. Everything else is kind of expensive. Astronaut complex, actually, I should stop in and get some people to take that trip to the moon. Thinking maybe we send a pilot, an engineer, and a scientist. Just a full squad. So we got Melmore, Tansby. We want the least stupid scientist, and I like the name Ed Top, so we're gonna get Ed Top. That took some money, but now we got some people. So, we're gonna want to land. That means we need... should we do something like that? Is that fun and laughable? This re-entry module ejects itself, and it's like a little sphere that will fall down to Earth on its own. Crew cabin, just do that. It's probably the lightest and simplest way to get 2 more people on this thing. We would need to get a ladder up to it. And then when it comes to how it goes places, I'm thinking it's probably gonna need to be like a side-to-side symmetry thing here. So we got these, maybe not quite so high up, something like that, and then 2 little Tudor engines on it, like so. Aerodynamics would have to be added so that doesn't suck. And then we can landing his wheels down these landing struts that make it rest kind of up on the same level as the engines, like so. So that the engines and the landing struts are all working in tandem to try and keep this thing upright. Or do we put landing struts out here to try and I think maybe that's what we should do. A couple of landing struts at roughly the same height, and they would start retracted, not out. So that's what would actually land on the moon. We would need some sort of cargo storage to make that feasible. I'm thinking what all can it hold? 3 things, and we need 4 at least. What else is there for storage? Just that. What about the crew? What's the crew got in their pockets? Jeb has parachute and his Eva jetpack. If we get our actual guys in here, pilot, scientist, engineer, the pilot can keep his parachute and jetpack. He can be in charge of anything that requires those. But these guys don't really need this shit, right? Like, the crew cabin has its own inventory as well, as does the command pod. So really, we can just get rid of parachutes and keep jetpacks. Put parachute gone, parachute gone, and we go control station. Oh, so that's too heavy for a person. They can carry that if they don't have the jetpack. Alright, you guys don't get jetpacks. Sorry. You're not trained. Okay, so what do we got? We got control center, goo monitor, and the weather analyzer. And the people are gonna hold the photo panels. So that's all the stuff we need. That'd been fun. I'd like that. EVA experiments kit. Can you carry that? More than one. Okay, that's interesting. We can have them carry some EVA experiments. Maybe one of these go there, and we give the engineer some repair kits. I'm not entirely sure what those are for. Like, he can take another though. Yep. So that's like what lands on the moon right there. That's the whole thing. And I want solar panels all over the top of this boy. Guess they throw a parachute on top just for the looks. Now, disconnector, so that all that can detach from our main assembly of fuel tanks here with the little engine, which is then attached to... Now here's where we're gonna explain some stuff. Oh, do I have the ability to do that yet? Never mind. Shit. I was gonna do the here's how onion staging works thing, but I don't have the things I need for that yet, so you'll have to wait. We're gonna be stupid about this and put on 5 of these big boosters. Gonna move them down just a hair so they're not higher than the main one. Then we need the aerodynamic nose cones. And we need to take these down to about 40% thrust. All those go at the same time as this. They detach, that detaches. This activates at the same time as that detaches. When this detaches, these two activate, and I don't even want this, like, staging, you know? I don't want to accidentally do that, but so be it. So, big boosters and the ones inside of them there, all to get just 2 space. This one is kind of the one to get us to the moon, and this is to land us on the moon. Will it work? Guess we will see. Do we want an antenna for communication? Thinking we probably do. How do you... I don't remember how to increase and decrease the symmetry without clicking the button, and I feel like I need to. So those will extend out and be big fancy antennas for potential use later, you know. It's not so much needed here. The relay antenna is gonna be sweet. We'll set up a satellite maybe to be a satellite relay. I think that's fine. I think that'll be a good little moon lander just to get this stuff. Yes, I'm having fun, chat. Thanks. My wifey's in chat. I think this will land on the moon and get those guys their little setup figured out. Let's give it a go. Since I'm a scrub, I have the revert buttons to rely on if need be. All right. Wasted fuel there because I didn't know that my big boosters weren't going to be enough. Yeah, they still aren't. There we go. Big ones are getting me going now. It's getting going that is tough. Anyone who has ever worked with speed of any form will tell you that staying going and getting going faster is easy as hell. What is difficult is getting going in the first place. So I needed to use that central thruster that I can control to get going, but as soon as I got going, I could turn it off and let the ones that I reduced down to 40% do their job. Up we go. It's so freaking nice. I love it. Switch so we can see our stats here. Only about 10 kilometers up right now at the top of our jump. Should maybe slam on this booster just to help boost things a little higher up. And now we'll detach these outer engines right about now. Goodbye! Okay, and then they're gonna do an aerodynamic dance. Yay! So beautiful. Can we see the moon right now? Oh yeah, right above us. How about that? I believe that's actually the best timing, is you put the moon directly above the space center, do your orbit, and then you should be in a perfect position to essentially get to the moon, the speed at which it's rotating around the planet. Oh, I don't want that one on yet. Up we go. I think we've got plenty of fuel to make this whole thing work. I don't think we have a problem here. It's going to be great. Speed up just a touch. And that's the music of space filling our ears. Turn on our thruster, and theoretically with this thruster we'll get into orbit, and it'll be mostly the other one that gets us to the moon. Even then, I'm not sure. I'm getting less and less sure. I might have needed to make something a little stronger. This one a Reliant? Or a swivel? Oh, this is just a Terrier. I shouldn't have used a Terrier for this stage. I should have used another... Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to revert to the vehicle assembly and touch this up a bit. That was a pretty big mistake. I forgot that the Terrier's that weak when it comes to pushing weight. So we'll get rid of that and throw on, yeah, I guess just Reliant, because we don't need it to swivel. Okay. Now... maybe do a slightly better launch with the, that first thruster active right from the beginning. Glad we caught problems that early, rather than, you know, smashing into the moon because we didn't have enough thrust. So once this thing gets up to, like, 50 meters per second, I will, see if I can disable that one thruster and just coast off the Bane ones. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. We're getting to the moon this time. We'll make it. Get there, land, set up a base. I should have put lights on the outside of the ship to light up a work area. I know I couldn't bring the portable ones, but I could have just stuffed... or do I even have any lights unlocked? I know that one research had a whole bunch of floodlights and dome lights. I don't think I got that one, though. Beautiful. Can you take me higher? Turn on that middle thruster and pitch those ones. Goodbye. Do your little dance. That Apple apps up to 70k, and then we will cut the engine and wait till we're up there. And then use our not shit engines to push more fuel out faster than we were before. Yeah, we definitely saved a lot of fuel that time, because I don't think we made this the same way. There. Just a slight detachment. Alright, let's wait till we're a little closer to that 70k mark. 62, 63, 64, 65. And let's start boosting sideways. Let's go. Let's go sideways. This all seems like it's going far better than the last time. The tiny little engines are great and all, but I'm having like a feeling that these two paired up tiny ones are going to be just a little more than enough for the tiny ship that they're having to deal with. Having one little one push the whole construction was not clever. Damn, are we going to be able to do this? Maybe not. Maybe I didn't design the ship quite right. Maybe we need a little more science and I need to go get heavier, This isn't gonna work. There's no way this is gonna work. I don't think this is gonna work. We just don't have the speed that we need to get there. It took me 800 meters per second to go from orbit to here, and we're not going to have that left at that point. I'm going to try it, because we're this far already, but I'm not making this. I can almost say that with certainty. Like, I can save a little bit of fuel by warping to the highest point again and doing my fuel burn there rather than being slightly off. Okay, there we go. We're at 70. Now we want to go to the moon. What will we need? We've got 1,200. It's not gonna happen. If we do that 800, we only got 400 to slow down passing the moon. Yeah, no, I totally conked this up. Is it just I should be shooting right out of everything with these engines right off the bat? That's a small change to make and bank off of, but I really don't want to have to get more science and do more researching just to do what I would like to do here. I feel like I can do it. Okay, so we'll try and bust out of the atmosphere a little quicker. There's a curve. There's like less fuel consumption is always good, but if you're not getting out of atmosphere fast enough, that means you're fighting the atmosphere for far longer, which means you're wasting more fuel on that. If you can just go, that might be the way to do it. Yeah, this is what I was doing wrong. I was too worried about like keeping these engines going for longer. You just need to go. You just got it's a rocket. It's not a like cruising car. That gets us up and out of the atmosphere. Our apoaps is already over 70k. I know we're still experiencing drag, so if I stop the engines, that'll go down. Not very fast. We're good. And then we tilt ourselves to the right here, because we want to be facing that way when the turn comes up. And that gives us so much more. I need to learn how to play this game, apparently, if I want to do anything. Like, I mean, we've been around the moon. We're doing okay for, you know, being on, like, hour 5 total on stream of this. Alright. Stay about there, please. And then we will fizz warp. To about here. And then boom, away we go. So now we've got like 700 meters per second to work on going sideways. And we got another 1,000 meters per second to work on finishing that up and then going to the moon rather than banking entirely on that. Yeah, like, that's incredible the difference that made. using those big boosters to get out of the atmosphere quicker completely changed my rocket from useless to doing exactly what I wanted it to. And that's what they have to deal with in real life with space travel. Like, every decimal point is important. If you can measure down to 0.000001, you gotta do it, because otherwise you could potentially see yourself getting screwed like that. Well, this isn't good. We're not gaining as much height as we should have. Despite all my mouthing off, I still haven't quite figured this out. The good news is we have means of hopefully fixing the issue. Will it undo all of our gains? It's looking like probably. Might have to try this one more time. As much as I hate to say it, and it pains me, we might have to try this one more time from the beginning. Do things that touch differently. Oh, don't tell me we're below 70k in our altitude now. Oh my god, we gotta do this one more time. Okay. Tilt a little to the right on the launch. Otherwise, just let it do its thing. This is the kind of launch, I think, that I was trying to do that slight gravity turn on. The kind where you use a huge, colossal effing booster to zoop yourself out of the atmosphere real quick. Not the slow crap I was doing. Hold on. Things are going to change here. Sorry. Sorry. We're good. We're going to the moon this time. Shut up. Gonna get that apoapse up to 80k, but while going at this angle so that there's a little more sideways velocity involved. Boom. Okay. Send me up there so that I may do my maneuver and live. Up, 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 up. We're in space. Turn on the engine and go this way. Let's roll. Faster, faster, faster. Something you can do, what I had mentioned earlier and I was hoping to do, is you don't use those solid boosters that can't be controlled. You use normal liquid fuel, but you hook up the tanks together in such a way that all of the fuel is connected and it will drain out of 2 tanks first so you can jettison those tanks. So you've got like 8 tanks all around the main one. 2 drain, you jettison them. 2 drain, you jettison them. 2 drain, you jettison them. So you're never carrying a tank that's mostly empty for much longer than is strictly necessary. That way you can use like super duper amounts of thrust for a lot longer. And once you can do that and get something that can go up to orbit real quick and easy, oof, that's good shit. You get basically, you build a bottom stage. So you know how I've got my first boosters that go, and then they split off, and then that booster in the middle is going, then that bottom splits off, then I've got the one I'm using now. You want to You want to build kind of something that is those first few stages that works universally for a lot of other designs. Okay. We're on these now. Don't add maneuver. I want to just go here. Do we have the speed to get to the moon without wasting too much more? I want to have like 2,000, not 1,200. Apps is 70k. Alright, alright, alright. Now we go like here. Add maneuver. I'm gonna get to the moon without using too much fuel. Okay, that's clearly too far that way. Let's try here. So that our little dot goes a little to the 11 o'clock instead of... Okay, there we go. That's what we want. We want a periapse that wonks like that. And if we can use only 800 to do it, I think we got this in the bag. So we'll warp to our next maneuver, which would be 18 minutes away if we were just sit here and do it in real time. Find our target we need to burn on. That's this one. I was so excited for KSP2 with like life support and all that being needed for Kerbals, and it just turned out the way it did, unfortunately. So we're half looking at our maneuver stuff here. I'm half looking at what's actually happening. If we don't perfectly make the maneuver in the direction it wants at the exact speed it expects, as long as we're close to what we wanted and we're at the moon able to do something about it, that's fine. Tiny little baby boosts just to help this thing get closer to what it wanted to be. Honestly, that's basically fine. So now we warp to the periapse of the moon, which is about there. We go to facing the opposite direction we're traveling, and we circularize our orbit. Now we're around the moon. Now we can get ourselves really close to the surface here. It's gonna be tough. Really wish we weren't landing like in the dark, but what can you do? Alright, we're headed this way. We got 700 meters per second of fuel to deal with. $22K up. gonna slow down. I'm trying to try and get slower. Oh god. Okay, now we're kind of falling straight down at a fairly slow rate. As long as we can keep our speed down while we do so. Land nice and soft. Put out the landing gear. There they are, I see them. The lights, they do nothing. So for this first little bit, just gonna keep our speed from going too high. I have confidence we can make this, so I'm quick saving. We have a long ways to go. Once this goes under what our speed is, we're hooped. And it's I shouldn't. I mean, as long as I don't quick load, I can still revert. But I shouldn't have quick saved. Wonder what I could do differently, if anything. Well, I'm sure plenty I can do differently. There's people who get to the moon with nothing but starter technology, so that's got to be me, right? Damn. No, I don't have the. I don't have the ability to deal with this. We're still 12 kilometers up. And, all I can do is hope to slow us down to, like, 10 kilometers a second, and... We're gonna fall down 10 kilometers at this rate of speed. We're gonna crash and die! Damn it! Part vehicle assembly. God damn. I can't believe how bad I am at this video game. Okay, well, let's do something quickly to get more science. And, how much do we need? Oh my god, I'm upset. We need 10 science. That's all we need. 10 science, and I could get the enormous fuel boosters, and... fuel systems, I could get the onion staging. I should do fuel systems. I need a little bit of science. That would give me 5, 3, 2, 2, 2, 0. People want to orbit the moon. They're crazy. I know what we can do. We can... Oh, no. Can we? Yeah, we can. I think one of these can do better maneuvers and the other can't, so I'm gonna do the better one. So this is our probe core. Our probe wants to be for science, and this science wants to be transmitted many, many kilometers. Might as well cram on these other things. Power. Power. Solar panels. Wait, I have an adapter for big fuel tanks, but I don't have big fuel tanks yet. That's interesting to me. This one can just get a little pop. Accidentally enabled the center of thrust overlay. Aerodynamic. We still don't have the, like, coupling things that the shells. Okay, TD12 decoupler. I don't know why. I feel this thing needs more antennas. It's just a hunch. And then we'll kind of do that same bottom part we've been doing. Do a swivel, surround it with big boosty engines. Put these on like 70% maybe? I don't know. So this super light and small, so all this stuff should send it really far. And my plan is to basically whip it as far as I can towards the sun and get some science data from that. And that'll get me what I need for next time, because we're getting pretty close to the end of the stream here. We're hitting that 3-hour mark. Yeah, we need to check our staging. Don't forget that. Don't forget it. Shall we then? Do we have monoprop? Control. No, we don't have any sort of monopropellant stuff. We really need... We really need to get more science research. So I'm hoping that this is good, and I'm hoping that we can get that moon base set up. Not that. Away we go. The probe doesn't have reaction wheels built in. I can tell it nothing. Damn it. The crew pods have built-in reaction wheels, so when you use movement, it'll kind of like or and push itself. Oh no, revert to vehicle assembly, not flight. Oh my god. But yeah, so these probe cores lack that feature. The command and control section that we were looking at has the small inline reaction wheels that we need. So what we will do is cram one of them in here. No, that's wrong. No, stop doing that thing. Stop it. There we go. And we'll cram another under the antenna. Now it can move and rotate, and I can actually control this ship slightly. Ugh. Hi, Cora Cohen. I am great. How are you? Getting close to the end of my stream. This is the last mission I'm embarking on, and then save the rest for next time. Yes, see, these buttons were clear without red or anything. That's because there was nothing they could do. Alright. Go into space. We're moving quickly. We're going to start seeing the that. Aerodynamic, not environmental. Aerodynamic stuff is going on here now. Whoa, whoa, we flip! We flip! We need wings! We need wings! We need wings! We need wings! Are we okay? Was that just one flip? Woo! We do one flip. We do one flip. We're good. One flip's fine. That was a stunt. That was on purpose. And you can't prove otherwise. Explode. Yeah! You should to upload your banner. Do you mean I should update my banner? Because I plan on it. I'm going to add to that empty grass field. That's make a realistic. I think there's a language barrier at play here, chat. Whoa, I'm going really high up. Yeah. Oh, see, and its icon changed to indicate that it's not manned. There we go. Whee! Zoom. Okay, now we can detach from this. Pop. And go on our merry way. As far as we can. Basically, I'm just going to keep boosting in this direction and see how far out we can get our apoaps. I mean, if you set a banner on my ID, you get more views. What do you mean by that, though? What kind of banner? Do you mean, like, on my stream itself? On my ID. And your ID looking like a professional. Are you trying to tell me to update my profile more? Because you're doing a poor job of it. And I agree. Anyways. I don't think I'm going to get nearly as far out as I thought I was going to with this setup. Why am I so bad at this video game? I was really eager to play this today, and now it's like, do I dare come back to it and make myself look like a fool even more? Okay, here we go. We're in orbit officially. Worst case scenario, this becomes some really stupid satellite that doesn't do anything. Now we go out to this point, and then we do the same thing from there. Whee! Damn it, this sucks. I'm terrible. Oh, I did it! I just barely did it. That was so close. Holy shit. Okay, so we escape Kerbin. Kerbin's influence. Just barely. There's your solar system. Fucking Elu. Now we're warping ahead in-game days and days because this thing is just traveling so, like, freaking far away kind of thing. Give me that Kerbin escape, bitch. Come on, give me the message. World first milestone. First flyby of the sun. We have entered orbit of the sun. Woo! Now we go like this. So the green line is showing our satellite connection. Green is good. We get our science-y stuff. Oh wait, where's our science-y stuff? Am I stupid? Can this frickin' probe not do science? From the Science Junior? Oh, really? Are we out of power or something? We got power. Why can't I extend my antennas or do my science? Oh, because I'm still in warp. Holy fuck. Wow. That was like 10-day in-game me sitting there get confused. Oops. Oops. So if we transmit this, we get 24.5 science. If we were to recover it, we'd get 50. Transmit data. And we had enough power to do the full transmission too. Sweet. Now we can do the other ones. Log temperature. Transmit the data. We can do this one. Extend all these antennas, please. I'm just going to speed up time to get more electric charge back from our solar panels so that I can send off the mystery goo data. So that got us a lot more data than we needed. It's another easy way to just kind of buff up your science storage by first scientific data from orbit of the sun. And now we can rename this vessel. How do you do that? Rename vessel, untitled spacecraft. It's a relay. We can call this the Lost Relay. Accept. There. We can't. Oh, there's Kerbin. That's cute. It's awesome though. We got a satellite out, and it's kind of doing whatever the fuck it wants. It eventually might crash back onto Kerbin many years, but I think we return to the Space Center on that one and see what we can buy for science. We might be able to afford 2 of the 90 ones, and then we can get more than I needed. Because we had quite a bit of science already. Only 130 left, so that sucks. We can only get the 1. I'm thinking fuel systems so I can do the onion staging, and that just generally gets me more fuel tank options. I really would like to be able to get like monoprop and stuff too, but yeah, I don't know. I think we'll have to go with the fuel systems. Kind of expensive for all those parts to purchase after researching, but so be it. We are a little under halfway through the skill tree in terms of like how many researches we've got, but we're a lot further back than that when it comes to how much science we need. Some of this shit gets expensive. 1,000. That was a ride. I'm gonna quickly do something here. There. Just needed to take a screenshot quickly. It's funny, I'm looking at my right monitor and I'm like completely turned completely to the right. Like I should switch up which monitor is my main and which is my chat so that it matches what's happening on screen. I don't look like I'm just like looking off frame. You need to put your chat on the left side of your screen somehow so that it looks like I'm looking at chat when I'm looking at my chat. Or I could horizontal flip my webcam at some point. I could also do that. Better save before I forget. Just gonna call it Supremo Supremo and quit. Definitely, as long as you're not trying to just sell me your artwork, let me know what I can improve on my channel. That person trying to tell me that my banner needs to that's make a realistic, that doesn't help. I don't know exactly what they mean. Is there something I'm missing? Is there some sort of banner somewhere that I don't have? I don't know. All I know is that people just want me to sell them, buy their art. So, not doing that, but I will accept any sort of improvement, and I need to figure out why my alerts weren't showing up. While we're here, let me do something. Move tab to new window. Not that one though. That's the window you're looking at. Let me just switch my thing here. Whoop. Look, it's me. All right, now pretend there's something happening behind me. Alerts and Twitch. Okay. Bum 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 bum. Edit alerts. That didn't seem to do anything. That didn't seem to do anything. Am I crazy? Why would my alerts not be working? It gives me the option to send a test alert. Alert box 1. I would really love some assistance with this. I will end the YouTube video here, though. They don't need to see this. So, for those of you watching the VOD or on YouTube or wherever that I happen to have uploaded this full video in the future and you're watching it happen after it happened, thank you for watching. And I hope that you will join me again next time.